Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony, and welcome to another edition of BNA Sports Talk. So the other day, I did 7 bold predictions about the NFL in general. Then yesterday, or a couple, whatever it is, I did guarantees for the Giants. But today, I'm doing some bold predictions. Yesterday, I kind of did some generic things, like what we know is going to happen, kind of how I see the season going, like us going at least 4-2 in the division, that sort of thing. But today, we are getting bold. We're not going to go crazy and do things that are outrageous, but let's get a little bold here. So the first one is going to be a Giants offensive lineman will make the Pro Bowl. Now, you're hearing good things about Will Hernandez. Matt Parrott, he's going to go through his struggles like he did last season, but he's built up his frame a lot. We've heard him working on a little bit of his technique as well, keeping his head up instead of down. But Will Hernandez, he was supposed to be a Pro Bowl guard. But we now look back in the 2018 draft, and we're like, we should have got Nick Chubb and Quentin Nelson instead of Saquon Barkley and Will Hernandez. That's what we're thinking now. But I think either he does it or Andrew Thomas does. Now, he's going to have a lot of competition. DJ Humphries, Andrew Whitworth are just two names you're thinking of right at the back. I'm not sure if David Bakhtiari is going to be ready week 1 because I do think he had a pretty brutal injury. And then you also have Taylor Decker of the Lions. You have some really, really good left tackles in the NFC and just the NFL in general. But my bold prediction is one of them pretty much is going to make the Pro Bowl. Nick Gage, Zach Fulton, Sam Moore, those are just role players. I don't think they're going to have that great of years. So, next, the Giants are going to go 6-0 in the division. And Daniel, this pretty much is an aside to say Daniel Jones really does own Washington. Now, his stats against Washington, I'll put them up. They're not too impressive. There's really only that one big game last year. I think it was like 2 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. About a 95 passer rating, so average against a Washington football team. But we ended up beating them both games. But I'm saying we truly own Washington, even though they have a new coach. Well, this is the second year. Even though they have Ryan Fitzpatrick and whatever, they're kind of a new identity. The defense feels like it's getting stronger only. It doesn't feel like they're going to regress whatsoever. But Daniel Jones is going to have 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. We're going to go 2-0 against Washington. The first game we play against them is going to be early in the season. And I believe the second one's towards like the latter parts of the season, in those later weeks. That's what that means. But so I think that Daniel Jones is going to be really good against Washington. Basically, why do I say this? I don't know. I think it's more of like a mental thing for him. Like he has had success against them, and it feels like the Giants can scheme up some things to take advantage of that defense. Now they did add some corners in the offseason, but I think we just throw a bunch of weapons at him, and then Saquon Barkley comes back in that second game against Washington. Well, first game against Washington, second game of the season. And I think that will be his first breakout game. And I think we're going to feel really good after that Thursday game. So Daniel Jones owns Washington, and he's going to buy some ownership stake maybe when, what's his name, sets it for sale. Next, McKinney leads the team with interceptions. Now, why is this bold? Because James Bradbury had a million interceptions last year. He had about 7 or 8. But McKinney had 1 in that last game. He only played 211 snaps last year. And I think that McKinney is just going to be around the ball a whole bunch. He's going to get tipped interceptions. He's going to understand the defense more. Logan Ryan's really going to help him. And he's just going to be on the field a lot this year. They're not going to do a lot of substitutions. Plus, McKinney was injured last year. He's still recovering from that sort of thing. I think Logan Ryan's going to teach him really well. And Logan, I think his athleticism, I feel like it's going to really let him down this year. He's going to be more of that... I want to say leader, like that. What are my other words can I use here? But you take a look at Jabril Peppers. He is in his he's in his contract year, I guess rookie contract year. So the Giants may realize, okay, McKinney's the guy, and then shift off Jabril, and McKinney play in the box, play that little slot corner role, maybe a little bit of free safety, but I like him better as a strong safety or slot cornerback covering tight ends. So I think McKinney leads the team in interceptions with about 6. I think Bradbury takes a little bit of a step back this year, and you get quarterbacks that just throw over the middle of the field and get some tipped balls from a Dory Jackson and that sort of thing. Next, Ojulari is going to lead the league in sacks. Let's say top 5. He's going to be top 5 in the sacks through the first 9 weeks. Now, he's a rookie. This is before teams are really going to get some film on him. I think he's a pure just explosive athlete, underrated strength. His coach says they're working on body control, and that's kind of true. Sometimes he gets pushed off the ball in the run game. But let's take a look at the Giants' schedule. Now, Denver Broncos, they lost one of their top guys. I mean, Juwan James was injured last year, but Garrett Bowles, you really think he's going to be that good next year. And plus, With all these games, Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, B.J. Hill, kind of working with him. But next, Washington, rookie offensive lineman. Yeah, I mean, I don't really think they're going to really put up that much of a fight on that offensive line. You can see him getting a couple sacks that game. That maybe become his coming out party, quote unquote. Then you face some. It's the Falcons. Falcons have a pretty good interior game, but as far as their left tackle that they drafted a couple years ago, he's all right. He's decent. And then next you play some pretty hard offensive lines: the Saints, the Cowboys, the Rams-ish. Havenstein. I'm not sure what he's gonna do, but he's gonna quiet down. I just think just a little bit there. But then you got the Panthers, who just signed Taylor Moton, but if you put him on the other side, I think Leonard Williams plays more on the right side, so he faces the left tackle more, so you face him against that right tackle. I think he would be fairly good. I think they're going to try to put Moton on the left side, and they're going to play with Brady Christensen as a right tackle. Correct me if I'm wrong, Panthers fans. And then the Chiefs, okay. They have one good tackle, I guess. And then it's the Raiders, and then we have a bye. So in the Raiders, we also what happened to their offensive line this year, kind of weakened. So I think through 9 games, he's going to have 9 sacks or 10 sacks and be leading the NFL. And I just thought of this. Michael Strahan's sack record might be broken, eventually, because it's 17 games instead of 16. Pretty weird stuff. Next, what do I got? Okay, we're going to beat the Chiefs or the Bucks. I was thinking about calling this my guaranteed video. I was thinking about doing 2. We're going to be 2 of them. We're going to beat the Chiefs or the bye. That's guaranteed. We're going to be for one of those games before the bye, the Chiefs, and after the bye, the Bucks. We're just going to put a really well-designed game plan together and solve one of those quarterbacks. I just have a feeling. I'm not sure if it's that bold, because a lot of Giants fans come into the season like, yeah, we almost beat the Bucks last year. Why can't we beat them this year? The whole thing with Tom Brady, he was at an MCL and he wasn't used to the offense yet. But yeah, this is like a guarantee. That's not even that bold. They're going to beat both of them. How about that? So that's pretty much it for that. We could keep on mentioning it. And then, next, Galladay has 15 touchdowns. Now, I believe the most he's ever put up in a single season was 11, or that might have been Marvin Jones. But Kenny Galladay is going to be used as that real red zone threat. So is Kyle Rudolph, which may take a couple of touchdowns away from him. But Kenny Galladay is just, he's going to be that guy Daniel Jones just, I think, starts to trust towards the end of the season. I think they've been working on camaraderie, not just doing those commercials. I saw it was a really awkward commercial they did with this sports car driver. It was really weird. But Galladay, I made a video about it. I gave it his stat projections. I think in that video I said 10 or 11 because there's just so many weapons to go to. But the most he's ever had in a single season was 11. That was back in 2019. That was a good pull. I had to search it up real quick. I'm like, am I just being ridiculous? Yeah, he had 1,200 yards that year. So I think you can put up stats similar to that. Just got to stay a little healthy here. So the original video ended here, but I have a bonus one that I'm going to include. Jason Garrett gets fired. I don't think it will happen, but I think it could happen. Now, why would it happen? The offense is still bottom 4th in the league. We've had a lack of explosive plays. Maybe Saquon isn't really performing that well. He's not really well ingrained into the offense. Obviously, Daniel Jones is probably going to play better, but he had 12 touchdowns last year, so any improvements can be great, I guess, but if he's only halfway through the season with 8 touchdowns, I can see him firing before, at the bye, bringing in Freddie Kitchens for a more long-term role, which is weird to say, and go with the Bucks and just say, you know what, let's just see what our offense has. The offensive line is sputtering a little bit. Let's reset. And plus, Jason Garrett isn't really a factor with Joe Judge. Him and Mark Colombo, I think, were brought in by kind of the John Mara kind of thinking. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know what you guys think. Do you have any bold predictions for yourself? Do you think Judge gets fired? Do you think Daniel Jones has 6,000 yards? But hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.